I was just born, and the moment I opened my eyes, the billionaire businessman Lu Yancy seemed to read every thought in my head. The entire Lu family's generations of genes were thrown into chaos at that instant. I was born, and I was also reborn. My billionaire father reached out and took me, still in my swaddling clothes, into his arms. He grinned wide, showing a bright smile. "This kid is exactly like me," he said. I sneered inside. No kidding. My 3 older brothers are all someone else's blood, but I'm your only real son. Of course I look like you. Lu Yancy's smile froze on his face. The air in the delivery room seemed to drop 10 degrees in an instant. His neck stiffened, and he slowly turned his head to look at the 3 figures standing outside the door. Those 3 so-called brothers stood outside, their eyes dark and heavy, like they were staring at 3 cold coffins. I panicked in my swaddling clothes. "Wait. Dad, can you hear my thoughts? I was just born, don't do anything rash." Lu Yancy, who had his 4th child at 43, ran the massive Lu group. The entire VIP floor of the hospital was on high alert, with 2 rows of black-suited bodyguards standing at attention. He stood alone in the hospital corridor, taking me from the nurse's hands. His movements were clumsy but incredibly careful. His sharp, defined fingers gently held my wrinkled little body. This man who held 100 billion in capital actually had red-rimmed eyes. "The 4th one," he said in a low voice. "You're finally here." I was wrapped in a warm blanket, still sticky from birth, but my mind was completely clear. The memories of my past life flooded over me like a tidal wave. In my past life, I died at 27 in a carefully planned car accident. The ones who did it were my 3 good brothers, Lu Jingheng, Lu Jingxiao, and Lu Jingyi. The 100 billion Lu family fortune was all taken by these 3 outsiders with no blood relation to the Lu family. My poor father, who had been kept in the dark his whole life, kept repeating one woman's name on his deathbed, Wenjiu, my mother. Lu Yancy held me, gently rubbing my cheek with his thumb, his eyes full of undisguised tenderness. "Look at this nose, and these eyes, just like me when I was young," he said. I was cold inside. "Of course. Those 3 brothers don't look anything like you. Did you never suspect anything? Big brother Lu Jingheng has a flat nose bridge. Second brother Lu Jingxiao has single eyelids. Third brother Lu Jingyi is a whole head shorter than the eldest. With that kind of genetic mutation, did you really not notice anything?" Lu Yancy's movements stopped abruptly. His fingers froze mid-air against my cheek. I could clearly see his pupils contract. "Dad, something's wrong. Don't make that face. Please don't confirm that you can actually hear my thoughts." His breathing suddenly quickened, his Adam's apple bobbing heavily. Damn it. Alarm bells went off in my head. No way. You can really hear what I'm thinking? I was just complaining to myself. Lu Yancy took a deep breath. He kept his smile up, but his fingers holding the back of my head were trembling uncontrollably. "Jingheng," he suddenly called out. The delivery room door was pushed open, and an 18-year-old boy forced his way in. The boy was handsome, but his nose was flat, with no resemblance to Lu Yancy's features. That was my big brother, Lu Jingheng. To put it plainly, he was the child of my mother Wenjiu and her college sweetheart. Lu Jingheng walked closer, a gentle smile on his face. "What does the little brother look like?" "Let me see," he said. Lu Yancy stood still, his gaze like a precise CT scanner, scanning Lu Jingheng from brow to jawline. 3 long, dead seconds. I shrank in his arms, trembling uncontrollably. "Dad, stop. I was just thinking out loud. I'm just a newborn baby." "Lin Shou," Lu Yancy suddenly called out. A middle-aged man in black lowered his head and silently walked in. Sir? Arrange it yourself, Lu Yanxi said, his voice flat like the sea before a storm. Lu Jingheng, Lu Jingxiao, Lu Jingyi, all three get paternity tests. Lin Shuo looked up briefly, then quickly lowered his head and closed the delivery room door. Yes, sir. Lu Jingheng stood frozen, his smile still not faded. Dad, what do you mean by that? Lu Yanxi turned to him, forcing a smile. That smile was so warm it made my skin crawl. Nothing. Just a routine checkup. Lu Jingheng wanted to say more, but the door closed heavily behind him. I shrank deeper into my blanket. Great. Now every thought I had was heard word for word. Lu Yanxi looked down at me in the blanket, his lips moving in a whisper only I could hear. How do you know all this? I have complete memories of my 27 years in my past life. I know everything I should know, and many secrets no one should know. But how do I explain that to him? I'm trapped in this weak baby body, I can't even roll over. His pupils contracted again. His arms tightened around me, so hard it was hard to breathe. Dad, lighter. My bones aren't hard yet. He immediately loosened his grip and took a long breath. His eyes were complicated, shock, scrutiny, absurdity. And underneath all of it, a deep, surging murderous intent. That intent wasn't aimed at me, but at the whole fake world outside that door. He pulled me back into his arms and patted my back gently. Don't panic, he whispered so softly I could barely hear, his chin resting on my head. Daddy will handle everything. I complained to myself. Dad, the hand holding your phone is shaking the whole time. The corridor outside was still full of black-suited bodyguards. Cold light fell on the polished marble floor, casting sharp shadows. Lu Jingheng was trapped inside the room, unease creeping up like vines. His father's words about paternity tests hit him like a rock. He kept his calm facade, but his fingers clenched tight. Dad, why the sudden paternity tests? None of us brothers have ever done this before. If word gets out, people will gossip about the Lu family. Lu Yanxi held me in his arms, his gaze landing on him calmly. Just a regular checkup, he said. His tone was flat, unreadable, but those deep eyes no longer held any of the old indulgence for his eldest son. I lay in the warm blanket, my eyelids heavy. My newborn body was pulling at my consciousness. My 27 years of memories churned in my head. Adult awareness and infant drowsiness fought each other. I muttered silently. Big brother's panicking. He knows better than anyone what that report will say. Lu Yanxi's shoulder twitched, barely noticeably. He was now fully confirmed. The newborn in his arms could really speak truths in his mind. Footsteps approached from outside. Lu Jingxiao and Lu Jingyi had come running. They pushed the door open and walked in. Second brother Lu Jingxiao had single eyelids, sharp brows, and a rebellious look about him. Third brother Lu Jingyi was shorter, standing next to his brother with a confused expression. They had just heard something was wrong in the delivery room and rushed over to see their newborn little brother. Dad, what's going on? Lu Jingxiao asked, his eyes landing directly on me in Lu Yanxi's arms. The little brother's born. This should be a happy day. Why's the mood so heavy? Lu Jingyi chimed in. Yeah, Dad, how's Mom doing? The mother they mentioned was Wenjiyu. Right now she was still lying on the delivery bed, pale and exhausted from giving birth. I sneered inside. Worried about Mom? Better worry about your own identities. None of you three are Lu Yanxi's real children. You've been taking the Lu family's status and resources for years without guilt. Lu Yanxi's knuckles cracked, his hand at his side. The head of $100 billion group, who'd seen every scheme in the business world, never imagined his own home hid a decade-long fraud. He looked at the three young men before him. He watched them grow up, given them the best education, the best things, poured his hopes into them as a father. Now, with my thoughts revealing the truth, he looked at their features. Everything clicked. Flat nose bridge. Single eyelids. Shorter build. Nothing inherited from the Liu family. Every tiny doubt he'd ignored over the years now surfaced. Liu Yanxi pressed his lips into a cold, hard line. Lin Shaw. Lin Shaw, waiting in the corner, stepped forward immediately. Sir? Take samples, Liu Yanxi said. Right here. Collect from all three and send to the testing center immediately. Lock down all information. No leaks. Lu Jingheng's face changed. Dad! You can't do this! He stepped forward to stop it, but two bodyguards moved in and blocked him. The cold pressure was suffocating. Lu Jingxiao's brows furrowed, his rebellious face full of confusion and anger. Dad, what's this supposed to mean? You suspect us? Lu Jingyi panicked too and stepped back. Is there some misunderstanding? I lay in Liu Yanxi's arms and let out a small yawn. I thought silently. Misunderstanding? No misunderstanding. When the report comes out, everything's over. When Jiyu's great deception is about to end. Liu Yanxi glanced down at me, his eyes complicated. He ignored the three boys' protests and turned to Lin Shaw. Run the samples against me first, and this child too. The other three, send them together. Use the group's private lab, not a third-party facility. Understood. Lin Shaw was always efficient. Medical staff were called in and took oral swabs from all three on the spot. Lu Jingheng was tense, his fists clenched, a flash of panic and resentment in his eyes. But with all the bodyguards around, he couldn't fight back. The samples were sealed and Lin Shaw took them and left quickly. The room fell into dead silence. The three young men stood there, each with their own thoughts. Liu Yanxi carried me over to the hospital bed. On the bed, Wen Jiyu slowly opened her eyes. She was beautiful and gentle-looking, pale, with a thin layer of sweat on her forehead from labor. Her gaze fell softly on me in Liu Yanxi's arms, and she smiled gently. Yanxi, bring the baby here. Let me see him, she said. Her voice was weak and soft, the picture of a fragile new mother. In my past life, Liu Yanxi had been fooled by this act for over a decade. I sighed inside. What an actress. She's known all along those three kids aren't Liu Yanxi's, and she's kept up the perfect wife act for years. Liu Yanxi's eyes turned colder. He didn't hand me over right away. He just looked at the woman in bed. Jiyu, he said slowly, his voice unreadable. All these years, you've worked hard. When Jiyu's eyebrows curved. Husband and wife, what's there to talk about hardship for? But the next second, she sensed something wrong in the room. She looked at Lu Jingheng and the others, who all had dark expressions. Her heart jumped. What happened? Jingheng, why do you all look like that? Lu Jingheng's lips moved, but he didn't dare speak. Liu Yanxi looked down and gently touched my little cheek with his finger. I was drowsy, but I still muttered inside. The show begins. When Jiyu doesn't know yet, she has no idea her lies are about to be exposed the moment she gave birth to me. Liu Yanxi looked down, his warm breath on my forehead, speaking just for me. Wait. We'll have results soon. The luxury private room felt like it was filled with ice water. When Jiyu leaned against the headboard in her thin hospital gown, still looking weak from childbirth. She asked twice, but all her sons just lowered their heads and stayed silent. Lu Jingheng's jaw was tight, he wouldn't meet his mother's eyes. Lu Jingxiao was angry, his chest heaving. Lu Jingyi fidgeted anxiously, avoiding eye contact, rubbing his hands together. Wen Jiyu's unease grew wildly. She looked at Liu Yanxi, her voice softer. with a hint of grievance. "Yancy, what's going on? The room's so tense, and the boys are all out of sorts." Lu Yancy held me in his arms, standing a meter away from the bed. His usual warmth for her was gone, replaced by a cold distance. "Nothing big," he said calmly. "Just took some samples from the kids for a checkup. Still waiting on results." Wenjiyu's expression flickered. "Checkup? Why the sudden checkup?" I lay in the blanket, drowsiness pulling at me, but my mind was still racing. She's panicking. She heard the word samples, and almost lost it. She knows exactly what those 3 kids' real paternity is. That's what she's most afraid of. Lu Yancy's chest rose and fell slightly. He'd clearly caught my thoughts. He turned his head and gave me a deep look, his eyes cold. Wenjiyu suppressed her panic and forced a gentle smile. "The kids get full checkups every year anyway. No need to rush it today. Today's our 4th son's happy birthday. Don't let small things ruin the mood. Bring the baby here. I want to hold him." She reached out her pale, slender hand to take me. Lu Yancy pulled his arm back, avoiding her touch. Wenjiyu's hand froze in the air, her smile fixed in place. This was the first time in all these years that Lu Yancy had pulled away from her. Lu Jingheng tensed and stepped forward. "Mom, you just gave birth. Rest. Don't overdo it." He tried to change the subject and stop her from pushing further. But that only made Wenjiyu more suspicious. Footsteps rushed in from the hallway. Lin Shou was back. He carried 2 sealed document bags, his face serious, and walked quickly into the room, avoiding everyone's gaze. The entire room went dead quiet. Everyone's eyes were on those 2 bags. One was mine and Lu Yancy's paternity test. The other held the results for Lu Jingheng, Lu Jingxiao, and Lu Jingyi. Lin Shou bowed and handed the bags to Lu Yancy. "Sir, the lab rushed it. No outsiders involved the whole way." Lu Yancy held me with one hand and took the heavy bags with the other. His fingers turned white at the edges of the paper. Wenjiyu lay in bed, heart pounding, barely breathing. Lu Jingheng was tense, sweat beading on his forehead. Lu Jingxiao stared hard at the 2 bags. Lu Jingyi even stepped back half a step. I knew clearly in my mind. The first report, 100% match. I am Lu Yancy's biological son. The second, all 3 excluded. No blood relation. More than a decade of wealth and status as Lu family heirs, gone in an instant. Lu Yancy opened the first bag. His eyes ran over the conclusion, probability of paternity over 99.99%. Confirmed that I was truly his child. He looked down at the wrinkled baby in his arms, his eyes complex, relief, fear, and rage all mixed together. If I hadn't come back, if he hadn't heard my thoughts, he'd have been fooled his whole life. 100 billion fortune, all going to outsiders. He put the first report aside and opened the second. One page after another came out. Every single one had the same cold conclusion, excluded from biological father-son relationship. All 3. No exception. Silence. The room was so quiet you could hear everyone breathing. Lu Yancy's fingers trembled slightly as he held the papers. Scenes from the past decade flashed through his mind. He'd given Lu Jingheng the best resources, sent him to top schools, planned to hand over part of the Lu group to him. He'd admired Lu Jingxiao's drive, funded his racing and business ventures. He'd indulged the quieter Lu Jingyi, always accommodating him. It had all been a joke. Wenjiyu watched Lu Yancy's expression. Her last shred of hope shattered. She went cold, lips trembling, face white as paper. Lu Jingheng couldn't hold his calm mask anymore. He rushed forward. "Dad! That report must be wrong! The lab made a mistake!" Lu Jingxiao's eyes were red. Is someone setting us up? Lu Yanxi looked up, his eyes sharp as winter blades, sweeping over the three boys. Mistake? All three mistakes? He raised his hand and threw the three reports onto Wenjiyu's bed. The papers scattered on the white sheets, the cold words laid bare for everyone. Wenjiyu stared at the papers, trembling all over. A decade of careful lies had been torn apart on the very day she gave birth to her last child. I sighed in Lu Yanxi's arms. All those years of playing the good wife, can't keep that up now. Lu Yanxi's low voice sounded in the room. Wenjiyu. He said her name with no trace of warmth. Tell me. What is this all about? The papers lay on the white sheets, each word a knife. Wenjiyu stared at the lines saying all three were excluded from a father-son relationship. Her whole body shook. Her gentle, warm mask was cracking. She leaned against the headboard, weak from birth and terrified, she could barely sit up. Lu Jingheng rushed to her bedside and grabbed her arm. Mom, don't panic. It's a misunderstanding. He said it was a misunderstanding, but his eyes were full of panic, and even he didn't believe it. Lu Jingxiao clenched his fists, his chest heaving, and glared at Lin Shuo like he was to blame. The testing agency rigged it. Someone's setting us up. Lu Jingyi stood in the back, pale, head down, not saying a word, too scared to argue. Lu Yanxi held me, his presence suffocatingly cold. The fury of $100 billion man wasn't loud, but it was more terrifying than any rage. Set up, he repeated in a low voice, his lips curving into a cold smile. Our own Lu Group lab, handled by Lin Shu alone, samples collected on the spot. Who's setting you up? That one sentence killed every excuse. Wenjiyu's eyes reddened, tears suddenly falling. She looked at Lu Yanxi, her voice choked. Yanxi. I. 1,000 words stuck in her throat. A decade of deception, and now the truth was out, she had no idea what to say. I was in the blanket, eyelids heavy, but I still muttered. Crying now is too late. You enjoyed the Lu family's status and money for over a decade, and now you're using tears as a shield. In my past life, Dad fell for that act. Lu Yanxi heard me again. His jaw tightened, and his eyes for Wenjiyu were completely cold. Talk. One word, carrying absolute pressure. Wenjiyu's shoulders shook, tears soaking her hospital gown's collar. There was no point denying it now. She slowly dropped her gaze, her voice barely a whisper. Jingheng is my college first love's child. The room went dead. Lu Jingheng stiffened, his hand on the bed tightening. We broke up and I found out I was pregnant. Then I married you and I hoped. She paused, unable to meet Lu Yanxi's eyes. Jingxiao and Jingyi. They're not yours either. I made mistakes out of foolishness. A few sentences tore down more than a decade of marriage. Lu Jingxiao staggered back like he'd been struck. His usual arrogance was gone. He'd grown up as the second son of the Lu family, used Lu family resources, and wanted to make a name for himself in Lu Group. Now he found out he had nothing to do with the Lu family at all. Lu Jingyi's legs gave out and he leaned against the wall, eyes hollow. Lu Yanxi stood there, silent for a long time. All those years of marriage, all that time raising those three boys, all a huge joke. I sighed and sighed. Poor Lu Yanxi in my past life, he died not knowing the truth, still thinking about that woman. Lu Yanxi glanced down at me, half asleep in his arms. The rage in his eyes faded a little. At least he still had me. He looked up, eyes cold, sweeping over Wenjiyu on the bed. Hoping? His voice was dark. You used me. You used the entire Lu family as your safety net. Wenjiyu was crying hard. Yanxi, I know I wronged you, but I've managed the Liu family well for over a decade. Please, for the sake of our marriage. Marriage? Liu Yanxi cut her off. You married into the Liu family pregnant with someone else's child. You had outsider children one after another. You used Liu money to raise other people's sons. And you call that marriage? He didn't give her a chance to keep crying. He turned to Lin Shuo. Draft divorce papers. Lin Shuo bowed. Yes, sir. Wen Jiu's face went completely white. No! Yanxi! Please, give me another chance! Lu Jingheng looked up sharply. Dad! This is my mom's fault. It has nothing to do with us. We grew up in this family. We think of ourselves as Liu family. Lu Yanxi looked at him coldly. Liu family? The Liu family's bloodline doesn't belong to outsiders. I was getting sleepier and sleepier. I was still thinking. This is just the start. Divorce is only the first step. Everything they took in my past life, they're going to give it all back. Lu Yanxi seemed to catch my thoughts, his lips pressed tight. Lin Shuo. Sir? Notify legal. Liquidate all assets under Wen Jiu's name. Revoke all privileges, shares, and credit cards from Lu Jingheng, Lu Jingxiao, and Lu Jingyi. Evict them from the Lu mansion immediately. The order left no room for negotiation. The three brothers' faces turned white as paper. Wen Jiu collapsed on the bed, sobbing. The luxury VIP room was like a cold courtroom. Lu Yanxi looked down at me in the blanket, gently touching my forehead with his finger. His voice was low, only for me. Don't worry. Whatever you lost in your past life, I'll get it all back for you in this one. Wen Jiu slumped against the headboard, completely drained. Her gentle mask was shattered, leaving only panic and humiliation. She'd married into the Liu family over a decade ago, held the position of the family matriarch, managed the household, and held massive wealth. She was used to being respected. She never imagined it could all disappear overnight. Lu Yanxi! You can't be this heartless! She looked up, her voice hoarse and desperate. I've been with you for over a decade. I ran the Liu household. Even if you don't care about our marriage, think about the kids. At least leave us a way out. Lu Jingheng clenched his fists, his knuckles white. The warmth in his eyes was gone, replaced by resentment. Dad, we've been in the Liu family for years. Everyone outside knows us as Liu family heirs. If you just kick us out and take everything, how are we supposed to survive? The whole Liu family will be a laughingstock. He tried to use the family's reputation to pressure him. That was his usual tactic. In the past, Lu Yanxi always backed down for the sake of family honor. But today was different. Lu Yanxi held me, his eyes cold and still. The Liu family's reputation was already ruined when your mother married in with another man's children, and when you three pretended to be Liu heirs for over a decade. His words were sharp and merciless. I lay in my soft blanket, my eyelids heavy. My baby body couldn't stay awake long, but my mind was still clear. I thought silently, now you're scared. When you split up the Liu family's 100 billion in my past life and got me killed, you didn't think about leaving yourselves a way out. Lu Yanxi's arm tightened almost imperceptibly, his warm breath landing on my head. He heard me again. Just the thought that he nearly lost his only son, that these outsiders almost destroyed generations of Liu family legacy, made his murderous intent surge. He looked at Lin Shuo, his voice hard as iron. Execute immediately. Freeze all personal accounts, trusts, properties, and vehicles for all three. Remove them from all Liu Group positions and authorizations starting today. They are not to set foot in the Liu mansion again. Yes, sir. Lin Shuo responded and immediately took out his device, calling the legal and finance departments. The call connected, and orders flew out, quick and decisive. Lu Jingxiao was completely panicked. He'd always been brash and spent money freely, cars, brands, connections, all relying on the Lu family name and money. Cut off from the Lu family, he was nothing, just some nobody with a decent face. Dad! Please! I was kept in the dark. I never knew about my real background. I always thought I was your son! He was shouting, his voice desperate. Lu Jingyi's legs were weak, his whole body trembling. He wanted to beg, but he couldn't even open his mouth. All three of them had lived a life that wasn't theirs for over a decade, comfortable, rich, high status. Now it was all gone, and the fall would crush them. Wen Jiyu watched Lu Yanxi's cold resolve and knew her begging was useless. Her tears began to dry, replaced by bitterness and resentment. She was silent for a few seconds, then gave a low, cold laugh. Lu Yanxi, you're cruel. I admit I deceived you. But you raised these three boys for over a decade. Even without blood, there's the bond of raising them. You cut them off so cleanly without a trace of feeling. Aren't you afraid you'll regret it? Regret? Lu Yanxi laughed coldly. The only thing I regret is not seeing you all for who you are 10 years earlier. If my son hadn't been born today, I would have lived my entire life in your lie. Even after death, I would have been fooled, and the Lu family's legacy would have fallen into outsiders' hands. He looked down, his gaze softening instantly, carefully adjusting his hold so as not to disturb me. The contrast in his expressions was so stark that Wen Jiyu's heart shook with jealousy. She'd been married into the Lu family for over a decade, performing her role perfectly, and had never seen Lu Yanxi treat anyone so carefully, like a treasure. Even when he favored Lu Jingheng the most, it was never this soft. All because this newborn was his real child. Why? Why did her decades of careful planning all lose to a baby that was just born? I was half asleep, but I could sense the malice in her eyes. I thought coldly. Sure enough, a cornered dog will jump the wall. Wen Jiyu was never gentle. Her kindness was all an act. In my past life, she was the real mastermind behind my death. Lu Yanxi's eyes turned icy, holding me tight, staring at Wen Jiyu like a blade. Keep your thoughts to yourself, he said, each word deliberate. If you lay a finger on him, I'll make you and your 3 sons pay a price you can't afford. Wen Jiyu flinched. The killing intent in his eyes scared her, and she didn't dare show any more malice. Just then, Lin Shuo hung up the phone and bowed to report. Sir, all orders have been executed. All assets and permissions under the 3 names have been frozen and recovered. The Lu mansion, villas, and private properties have been blacklisted. Legal is drafting divorce papers and asset lists now. They'll be here within the hour. In just a few minutes. The once prominent 3 young masters of the Lu family, overnight, had nothing. Lu Jingheng swayed, his face like death. Lu Jingxiao's hands dropped, his arrogance gone, replaced by emptiness and despair. Lu Jingyi's eyes went red, his lips pressed tight, trembling. Outside, the steady footsteps of bodyguards arrived. Escort the 3 out, Lu Yanxi said calmly, his voice leaving no room for challenge. 2 bodyguards stepped forward, respectful but absolutely oppressive. Lu Jingheng stared at me in Lu Yanxi's arms, a dark look in his eyes, full of resentment and unwillingness. But in the end, all he could do was clench his fists and walk away. They all knew, from now on, they were no longer the Lu family heirs. The door closed softly, shutting out the chaos and noise outside. The room fell quiet again. Only Lu Yanxi, who had just uncovered a decade-long lie, the defeated Wen Jiyu in bed, and me, a newborn carrying memories of a past life, remained. Lu Yanxi looked down at me, his fingers lightly brushing my soft baby hair, his voice low and gentle like a feather. Don't be scared, baby. From today on, Daddy's got you. All the schemes, all the pain from my past life, he'd crush it all in this one. In the room, It was just Lu Yanxi, me, and Wen Jiyu on the bed. Daylight streamed through the window onto her pale face. She no longer looked like a wealthy matriarch. Outside, the footsteps of the three brothers faded, growing heavier and farther away. Wen Jiyu leaned against the bed, not saying a word, her fingers gripping the bedsheet. More than 10 years of careful plotting, gone in an instant. Soon, the door opened again. 2 lawyers in suits came in, holding thick divorce papers and asset lists. The papers rustled softly. Lin Shaw followed behind them and stood by the door. The lawyers placed the documents on the small table by the bed. Mr. Lu, Ms. Wen, the papers are ready. Lu Yanxi held me, staying a few steps away. Read it out, he said. The lawyer nodded and read the terms aloud. Dissolution of marriage. Wen Jiyu was at fault, so she'd give up most of the Lu family's shared assets. All properties, stocks, and luxury goods bought by the Lu family would be taken back. Only her small premarital belongings would remain. Also, Lu Jingheng, Lu Jingxiao, and Lu Jingyi, no blood relation to Lu Yanxi, had no right to any inheritance. Everything from the Lu group had nothing to do with them anymore. Every word hit Wen Jiyu like a hammer. She looked up, eyes red. Lu Yanxi! Are you trying to ruin me? I just gave birth. I haven't even recovered, and this is how you treat me? I was drowsy but still sharp in my head. I thought ruined you? This is nothing. In my past life, you sat comfortably with Lu family resources and watched me get killed by those 3. You didn't think about leaving me a way out. Lu Yanxi heard my thoughts and his eyes grew colder. When you made your mistakes, you should have known this day would come. I won't touch your premarital property. It's enough for a normal life. That's not destroying you completely. Wen Jiyu trembled all over. A normal life. After years of luxury and riches, being thrown back into ordinary life, that was worse than death to her. She stared at the papers, refusing to reach for them. I won't sign. The lawyer's expression stayed neutral. Ms. Wen, this agreement is backed by evidence. 3 paternity tests are on file. Even if you don't sign, if we go to court, the ruling won't be much different. It'll just make everything public. Public. That one word broke Wen Jiyu's last bit of resistance. If this went to court and the scandal spread through high society, she'd be completely ruined with nowhere to go. Her lips trembled. After a long moment, she picked up the pen with shaking hands. The pen hovered over the paper, refusing to come down. Lu Yanxi said calmly. Sign, and we part on decent terms. Don't sign, and we'll see you in court. Wen Jiyu closed her eyes. Tears dropped onto the paper, leaving small wet marks. She signed her name. One stroke, and more than a decade of marriage was over. The lawyers collected the signed papers, bowed, and left. The room was quiet again. Wen Jiyu looked lost, like all the life had been drained from her. When do I leave the hospital? She asked, her voice hoarse. Once you're cleared for discharge, someone will take you out. You don't need to go back to the Lu mansion. Your personal things will be packed up and sent out, Lu Yanxi said coldly. Just then, I heard an argument from the hallway. It was Lu Jingheng. He hadn't given up. I want to see my mom. Let me in. The bodyguards blocked him. Mr. Lu, please don't make this difficult. Lu Yanxi frowned. Lin Shaw, go check. Lin Shaw stepped out. After a moment, the argument died down. Lin Shaw came back and reported quietly. Sir, Lu Jingheng tried to force his way in. He was stopped. He said this isn't over. I sneered inside. Of course. Lu Jingheng won't give up that easily. He's the most cunning and ambitious. Losing everything from the Lu family, he'll only get more desperate. In my past life, he plotted to kill me in a car accident. With nothing now, he'll be even more reckless. Lu Yancy looked down at me, his eyes cold. Keep an eye on all three. 24-hour surveillance. Report immediately if any of them even get close to the young master. Understood. When Jiyu heard that, and her heart jumped. She finally realized Lu Yancy had put all his focus on this newborn son. From now on, she and her 3 sons were enemies of the Lu family. She looked at me in the blanket, a hint of resentment in her eyes. At that moment, a thought crossed my mind. Be careful, she's holding a grudge against me. Lu Yancy caught the malicious look and shifted his body, completely shielding me from her view. He looked straight at Wen Jiyu. Keep those thoughts to yourself. After the divorce, you are not to come near my son. No private contact. No gifts. No messages. If you break this, I will take legal action. Wen Jiyu's face went pale, then red. I'm his biological mother. You don't deserve that, Lu Yancy said bluntly. To protect yourself, you lied to me for over a decade. You raised other people's children. From the moment you lied, you lost the right to be his mother. That sentence shattered Wen Jiyu's last excuse. She fell back onto the pillow, unable to say another word. The sleepiness of a baby finally overwhelmed me. My eyelids were heavy, and my vision blurred. Through the haze, I could feel Lu Yancy's warm, strong arms holding me steady. His hand patted my back gently, his voice low in my ear. Sleep, my son. I'm here. No one can hurt you anymore. A few days passed. The commotion in the VIP floor of the hospital settled down. Lu Yancy used all his connections to keep the news under wraps. The paternity tests and divorce details didn't leak into high society. All anyone knew was that the Lu family's 4th son had been born safely. Everyone sent gifts, not knowing the chaos inside. When Jiyu recovered a bit and was taken away, she didn't go back to the Lu mansion. She only took a few old belongings and moved into a modest apartment. Lu Jingheng and his brothers had all their privileges cut off. They tried to find help, but their old friends and business contacts all avoided them once they heard the Lu family wanted nothing to do with them. One morning, a few black cars stopped at the hospital entrance. Bodyguards stood on both sides. Lin Shu opened the car door himself. Lu Yancy wrapped my blanket tightly and carried me carefully, still asleep, as he walked out of the hospital. The spring sun was warm. I woke up slowly in the blanket. My baby eyes couldn't see clearly, only big patches of light and shadow. I thought, finally leaving the hospital, heading back to the Lu mansion. In my past life, I walked on eggshells there. This time, it's really mine. Lu Yancy sat in the back seat and placed me gently on a soft cushion in his arms. The car drove smoothly away from the hospital. The cabin was quiet except for the faint engine hum. He looked down at me, gently touching my cheek with his finger. You can hear me, right? It wasn't a question. Over the past few days, he'd gotten used to hearing my thoughts. I couldn't speak, so I just blinked in reply. A faint smile crossed his eyes. The mansion is your home now. All the servants will be rescreened. No one loyal to Wen Jiyu will stay. I nodded inside. Good move. A lot of the old servants were promoted by Wen Jiyu. In my past life, they helped those 3 brothers in secret. Lu Yancy's face turned serious. I've already told Lin Shu to handle it. Anyone close to Wen Jiyu and her sons will be paid off and let go. New staff will all go through background checks. The car sped along and entered the sprawling Lu mansion grounds. White walls, gray tiles, deep gardens, luxury everywhere. The car stopped at the main house entrance. The butler and all the servants stood respectfully at the bottom of the steps to welcome them. Sir, welcome home. Lu Yancy carried me out of the car. All the servants' eyes fell on me in the blanket. Everyone knew this newborn young master was now the only blood heir of the Lu family. They stepped into the main hall. It was huge, with a crystal chandelier gleaming. Before, this place had been decorated by Wenjiu, full of traces of her and the three boys. Lu Yancy looked around and his eyes went cold. Renovate the whole main house. Replace all the furniture and decorations. The butler bowed. Yes, sir. I looked around from his arms and thought. Renovating is good. Erase their marks. But Lu Jingheng and the others won't give up so easily. They won't just let the Lu family fall into my hands. Lu Yancy paused. I know, he answered my thoughts quietly. They have nothing now. They'll only get more desperate. The mansion's security will be upgraded. Walls will have new cameras. 24-hour security shifts. No one gets near the main house without my permission. Just then, Lin Shuo walked in quickly. Sir, news. Lu Yancy looked up. Go on. Lu Jingheng has been reaching out, trying to contact old staff in the group to dig up old matters. He's also trying to raise money privately. Lu Jingxiao's been getting into fights. Lu Jingyi stays indoors all day, very low. I sneered inside. Lu Jingheng hasn't given up. He wants to stir things up. Without the Lu family platform, he's all ambition with nothing to back it up. Watch Lu Jingheng closely, Lu Yancy said flatly. Record everyone he contacts, everything he does. Don't spook him. Yes, sir. Just then, the butler came up to report. Sir, there's a visitor at the gate. An old friend of Wenjiu's, asking to see the young master. Lu Yancy's face went cold. Turn them away. From now on, anyone connected to Wenjiu stays out. No one sets foot inside the mansion gates. The butler bowed and left. I yawned a little. Being a baby is tiring. Lu Yancy saw I was sleepy and carried me upstairs. The nursery was freshly done, warm and soft, pale colors, a crib, toys. The air smelled like milk. He bent down and gently placed me in the wide, soft crib. His finger brushed my forehead. Sleep easy here. Daddy will protect the Lu family and protect you. Days went by. I grew little by little. From a swaddled baby to babbling. Lu Yancy poured all his love into me. He taught me about people, about business, about how to keep the Lu family legacy. No usurping brothers. No vicious, lying mother. No schemes, no deadly traps. All the regrets from my past life, all made right in this one. The sun set slowly, golden light filling the garden. Lu Yancy held me, looking out over the vast Lu family estate. The Lu family is yours now.